Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, it is Wednesday. I believe today's the 20th, 21st, something like that. I am heading up to Kentucky. We're going to the Kentucky Exposition Center to head up to the Mid-America Trucking Show. Just getting ready to pull out, and Katie and Amanda just dropped me off, and we're out of here. It's road trip time. Those of you that are somewhat new to the channel, every year I like to go up to the Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where we're headed right now. We don't work this event, which is why we don't have the trailer with us, which is also pretty rare that you see me drive Goliath without the trailer. We talked about this some last year. It's actually kind of nice driving it without the trailer. Obviously, the acceleration is much better. Goliath isn't fast by any means, but he's less slow this way. Coming out of the mountains here, we've obviously got a lot of steep grades. guys, so right now we're going through the Oki Gorge. If you guys watched our trip home from Daytona, we came through here, but obviously going the opposite direction. But on that day, the water wasn't turned on. Yeah, that's what I said, the water wasn't turned on. This particular section of the gorge is a real popular spot for kayaking and tubing and rafting, so on and so forth. And they have the river where it's controlled by floodgates, where they can literally turn it on or off. Now it always flows, so off doesn't actually mean off, but it's a much more reduced flow. This is actually the site where they did the Olympics back in 1996, all the water sports and stuff like that. The main Olympics were hosted in Atlanta, but this was like a secondary location for the Olympics, which kind of is a little claim to fame. Now this is an area we've definitely got to be very careful driving through. The road is narrow, a lot of windy turns. See, like here, 25-mile-an-hour turn. There's a lot of spots where people will come over the yellow line, other big trucks coming the other way. So we're just going to take our time to go through snow. For a second, I looked down the brake controller and realized that the trailer wasn't connected. For a moment I forgot that I didn't have the trailer with me, but it got me for a second. Alright, so we made it over to Route 411, heading north towards Knoxville, going to go through Madisonville, so on and so forth. I believe it takes us right up into Sweetwater as well. A little bit different route than we normally go. Just wanted to change the pace. Alright, so right now we are coming through the town of Etowah. And I remember on the way home from Daytona, a viewer had left a message saying that they lived here. I forget who you are, what your name is, but hi, come through your town. I also have a childhood friend that lives up here. We actually grew up in Florida together, but this is where his family was from. And at some point he returned. His name is Jamie. Lives up here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Never been to his house. Haven't even seen him in about, I don't know, 14 years or so. Well, guys, I don't know how many of you recognize where I am at, but because I was coming through Sweetwater, I was hoping to stop and meet up with Tim Gentry for a moment. I did send him a text message as I was coming through like Benton, Etowah area, hoping that I could come by the shop and say hi to him. Now, I don't know where his new shop is. You know, I looked it up on the maps once when he first moved there, but now I don't remember where that was. So he never replied to me, so I couldn't just run by there. But I thought, you know what, I'll take a chance, and we'll go by his old shop. This is the first time I've been here since the fire last year. It's weird, the building's not even there. I can't get out through this entrance over here, so I'm turning Goliath around to go back to the entrance that I came in at. Like I said, unfortunately, we were not able to see them. Maybe some other time. I thought I downshifted to third to make that turn, but I forgot to flip the range selector, put it back in seventh, stalled it. Alright, so I stopped at this Flying J, exit 369 just south of Knoxville, mostly because I need water. Alright, so I found one that's got water available, so I'm going to pull in behind this truck. What I thought was kind of cool is I got out to check. This gentleman over here in this Ryerson truck stopped to say hi. He watches this on YouTube. Well, that worked perfect. Just as I was pulling in, the truck in front of me pulled forward. Yeah, so I just stopped here to take on water because the spigot outside of the feed store that I normally used to fill up, Joe had apparently turned it off. I know he's been chasing leaks that are believed to be underground, and he had a really high water bill last month. So he turned it off, but he didn't tell me he turned it off. So yesterday I went to go fill Goliath up to get everything ready, and no water. So this is my alternative, is to find water along the way somewhere. All right, guys, so I just had a very odd experience. This never happened to me before. So I'm sitting here at the fuel island getting water, like I explained. I want you to see, there is a truck behind me at the fuel island, but there's nobody behind him at all. And the place isn't that busy today. So, got the water hose hooked up, and all of a sudden this guy comes up to me, it's one of the managers there, and he's like, I need you to get going. I'm like, okay. He goes, I can't have you holding up the fuel island. I said, well, I'm really not. I said, there's nobody behind the gentleman behind me, and I've already talked to him. He's okay. He's patient. He's good. You know, guys, I complain about drivers not being courteous, so I didn't want to be that driver. So I was doing everything in my power to be courteous and still do what I needed to do. Well, this manager, I guess, in not really a mean way, but not in a polite way, informed me that he is not in the water business and I need to get moving so I don't hold up the fuel island. I'm like, I'm not holding up your fuel island. I've talked to the driver behind me. There's nobody behind him. We're all good. We've got other lanes that are empty. I'm not slowing any progress down here at all. And he just rated, well, I'm not in the water business and you need to get moving. And I thought that was weird because right over on the other side of the sidewalk, there's an RV spot, right? An RV spot where they supply water for people in RVs. The problem is, the parking lot there is small enough that I can't really fit in it, right? So, okay, this driver's just gonna pull out in front of me. Sure, driver, just do that. Literally like 4 feet in front of me, pulls out of a parking spot. Anyway, so I explained to him, I said, look, you know, I would go over there, but that parking lot's too small for me to get this rig into safely. And then he looked all weird, like it's an RV. And then he just reiterated, I'm not in the water business. Need to get this thing moving so it's not blocking my fuel island. I'm like, how rude is that? But anyway, I got my coffee. I even grabbed a little bit of a snack. All right, driver, what are you doing? Now it's time to get back on the highway. Enough messing around. It's all interstate from here on out. Just kidding. There'll still be some messing around because I do plan on stopping at Buc-ee's, which is a little over 2 hours away. And then I plan on stopping by one of my favorite restaurants for dinner that's just past the Buc-ee's that, well, I don't get to go to very often anymore. This is like one of the only opportunities, so I want to seize that opportunity. Yeah, so I really just think that was uncalled for, especially given that I literally spend tens of thousands of dollars a year on fuel, and let's not even talk about snacks and coffee and everything else, to come complain about me getting some water, because they're not in the water business. Also, while I was stopped, Tim Gentry texted me back. He's already at the match show, so that's why we couldn't find anybody or didn't hear back from him. I completely forgot he's got a booth there now where he sets up. So it makes sense. So we'll see him when we get there. All right, guys, and I told you I had another stop to make, and yeah, Gold Star chili, because I'm kind of craving this stuff. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this type of restaurant, there's Skyline chili and Gold Star chili, and they're both pretty much the same thing, but they've got a slightly different recipe. It's like the Coke and Pepsi of colas, so some people like one better than the other. I personally like both of them. I knew that I could get Goliath into this one because we did it last year. The Skyline I Googled was not real truck friendly, so to speak, but I saw one going down the highway after I left the Buc-ee's, and it looks like I could actually get into it. In fact, it was right next to a First to Watch restaurant that Katie and I, Brenda and Ron stopped and ate at a couple years ago, and I got Goliath in there with the trailer, so I'm pretty sure I could do it without the trailer. Maybe we'll hit that one on the way home. I really didn't record a lot while I was at Buc-ee's. The wind is just howling so bad here. It's not real cold out, but it feels really cold because of the wind chill. But I did stop at the Buc-ee's just to get fuel. I didn't actually, thank you, sir. Thank you. I didn't actually buy anything at Buc-ee's other than fuel, which is pretty surprising because you guys know how I am. But on the way home, I'm gonna stop there and get some more fuel, and I'll probably buy some snacks. I've already stocked Goliath up for food for the weekend for me, so I didn't really need anything else at the moment. But ooh, my food's here, so I'm looking forward to this. Wow, guys, that was fantastic. Now, I consider myself a bit of a chili connoisseur. Chili's obviously probably one of my most favorite meals of all time. So whenever I go someplace new that I've never been, if there's chili on the menu, better believe I'm gonna get it and try it. But Skyline, Gold Star, Steak and Shake, and believe it or not, Wendy's are still my favorites. Now, Wendy's is as good as it used to be, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, leave a comment down below. If you have a preference for Gold Star or Skyline, leave a comment, let me know. If I had to choose one, I'd probably pick Skyline, but I love them both. So it just makes sense that a restaurant that its whole platform is based on the chili, I would love. All right, we are all finished and we got to get on our way. Now, Buc-ee's, the only reason I went to Buc-ee's was for fuel. And as you saw there, it was what, $3.59? So I just splashed in like, measly $300 worth, about 80 gallons. Everywhere else, it was over $4. There was a couple places just under, like $3.99, $3.94. But most of the truck stops were $4.09, $4.15, somewhere in that area. So let's just say 50 cents average per gallon cheaper, throwing in 80 gallons, I save 40 bucks. So that's why I go there. And I didn't fill all the way up. I just threw in that 80 gallons. Remember, at a Buc-ee's, I can only fuel from one side. I don't have a satellite pump. So it takes time for the fuel in one tank to kind of flow over to the other tank. So I got the 80 gallons into the one tank. The other tank isn't that full, obviously, and it'll transfer over. Now I will top off again on the way home, and then that will be the fuel that will probably get us all the way down to Florida when Leesburg and the 75 Chrome Shop Truck Show come around. And this wind is just awful. But anyway, guys, we still have about an hour to drive, and as you can see, that sun started to set a little bit low into the sky. So let's just get there really fast. All right, guys, we made it here to the Kentucky Exposition Center. I got the same exact parking spot that I had last year, which is great because you see Goliath is right here. Got a stairway going up the hill right there, and then there is the building where the tractor pulls are going to be, and all the show trucks are going to be right here in this parking lot. So I actually get a view of the show trucks from outside my bedroom window. So I ended up getting here a little later than I wanted to. It's about 8 p.m. now. Originally, I wanted to leave around 9 today, planned on being here between 3 and 4, but I got a later start than I wanted to, and we stopped like 6 times on the way here. I know you saw 3 of them, but there were a couple other times that I stopped just real quick for bathroom breaks. So we weren't really on a schedule. You see, there's still nothing going on here. We're still way early. This place will start filling up tomorrow, and then of course Friday, Saturday are the big days here. And Sunday, we got the truck parade. Well, guys, I think I have drug this video out long enough. Guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share with your friends and family. And if you are subscribed, remember, guys, keep checking. We had a huge issue in Bike Week where people were getting unsubscribed left and right. For those of you that are new to the channel, may not realize that we actually have multiple channels. So a lot of this truck show content, if you're into that, will actually be on the Trucking with Amsoil Adam channel. There will be a link in the description. There will be some small stuff on here as well, but most of it will be directed to get you over there. I really want to grow that channel to get it to where it can be monetized in the near future. So please do that. We got to hit 1,000 subscribers as quick as possible on there. We've only got like 380 something, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can help over there as well. And I think that's it. I think that's it for tonight. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time we see you, keep those engines running.